All right, day 2. Let's kind of just talk about the second round right now. And I'll talk about the third as well. Let's get into Emergency Sports Talk. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video, and kind of talk about where the Lions should go here. They got a lot of holes to fill. But hit the subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Let's talk about the second round first. They can go anywhere, best available player. You got Del Pitt, that kind of, I think, fit what Patricia like in the safety. But you got DeAndre Swift that could be there in a couple picks. Swiss Army knife, explosive running back. He can be the explosive running back to, Carry-On or Bo Scarborough. I don't believe in none of those guys. You got guys like Michael Pittman from USC who can catch the ball. But got Jonathan Taylor there as well. But personally, when I'm talking about running backs real quick, I think it's premium on running backs right now for the Lions. But I like Zach Moss. You can get him in the third. Hopefully you can get him in the third. I don't know. But in the second round, I like the kid from Texas A&M. I can't pronounce his last name. He's a defensive tackle, twitchy guy, a little bit undersized, but got great arm length. He can provide some pass rush. He can provide, some twitchiness behind Deshaun Hand for 1 year. If Deshaun Hand ain't healthy, you can put him in there. You also can put Deshaun Hand in the 4-3 defensive end. You can put him in the end in the 3-4. You can put him in the interior in the 3 technique in the 4-3. So I think the defensive tackle out of Texas A&M, Justin Matabuk, or whatever his name is, that's the guy I like to see the Lions draft in the second round. I just think they need interior help, and he's a twitchy guy. You can find you a plugger down the line. Marlon Davis is another good prospect right there. I know people are enamored with Jonathan Taylor. They're enamored with DeAndre Swift. Like I said, I wouldn't be mad if they took those guys, but they need help across that defensive line. And you got to have a second wave, and sometimes even third wave of D linemen in this league. So the kid from Texas A&M is the guy that I got my eye on. And if I can't get him, then I'm looking at probably like Marvin Davis. You also got a tackle from Boise State who probably more of a right tackle. Don't have long arms. You might have to move him to guard, but you got a couple tackles that's up there as well that I wouldn't mind seeing them take. But the kid from Texas A&M is it. He got a great grade on him. He got a tremendous amount of upside. He just got to, get his hand-to-hand combat together. And it sounds like he could be a Deshaun Hand type of guy. So that kid is the guy that I'm eyeing in the second round. The third round, depending on if it's going to be a run of running backs going on between, Taylor after the kid from LSU went last night late, the last first-round pick. I'm thinking, more, if they don't go the defensive lineman route, or if you get to the third round, I'm thinking more of now I'm liking Zach Moss. Also like the kid from Appalachian State, Dryaton, whatever his name is, the running back. I like him as well. So, if I can get Zach Moss or the other kid, then in the third round, they got 2 third rounders. Like I said before, I wouldn't be against them taking 2 running backs. I did it in my mock draft, and the kid from Appalachian State and Zach Moss, I took them, I think both in the third round, or one in the third, one in the fourth. So Zach Moss is the guy that I'm looking at, but they do need a running back. But the problem is they haven't addressed the offensive line. So you at the point where do I trust? I understand that Bob Quinn could find an offensive tackle, offensive guard later in the draft. Third round he can find a guard. Fourth round he can find a guard that can come in and play right away. My concern is the tackle positions. You know what I'm saying? To be able to seal the outside or seal for the guys to come on the inside. That's my issue. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to go with Big V at right tackle, then you got to draft 2 guards because you don't have another starting guard. And Big V, I heard he got abused at tackle with the Eagles, So you're going to want to slide him on you want to keep him on the guard, so you got to find you a guard and a tackle. And the thing about the tackle position is you want a tackle that can probably build up to being a left tackle because Taylor Decker not that good at left tackle. So it really defeats the purpose to bring a running back in if you don't have an offensive line to get it together. So they got to find a guard. They got to find a tackle. They're not going to find a left tackle prospect, probably at this, going in, that's going to be special. So they had to may have to wait till next year to find that left tackle guy. But if they can secure a right tackle, they secure the guard with Big V, and then later in the draft, they can secure the left guard position. Then maybe they may be good. Maybe Big V and Ragnow and the other guard prospects can really seal the interior and get some holes going, and they can find a right tackle that can kind of come in and provide the sauce. But the problem is Bob Quinn don't do a good job at evaluating offensive linemen or anybody for that sake on as far as positional players. But if I had my way, I would take the kid out of Texas A&M, plug him in, right there with, depending on what they play. They play a lot of different things, 3-4, 4-3. You know what I'm saying? If you playing at the 4-3, let's just say that, you can put Hand on the end. You can put this Texas A&M kid in the 3 technique. You can play Danny Shelton as the run stopper. You have Flowers on the other end. Also, you got to get a guy behind Danny Shelton that can plug. You want a young guy that eventually can plug. So if some of these bigger guys, kind of fall off because they're more pluggers and they don't rush, you can get a big plugger down the line in the 3rd or 4th round to groom behind Danny Shelton. So that kind of be my game plan. But that 2nd round pick, I'm going with the interior twitchy guy from Texas A&M, Justin Mudaback. I don't know how to say his name. That's the guy I'm going for to come in and play that 3 technique and be twitchy right there, man. And kind of play with Deshaun Hand and kind of have some interior rushers. I get to the 3rd round, my first pick. Depending on how high I fall, I probably would be looking at Zach Moss in the 3rd round, unless it's a guard prospect I like. Then later in the 3rd round, I'll be looking for a guard or a tackle prospect that I like, maybe a tackle that translates to guard. So that's kind of what I'm looking at day 2 between 2nd and 3rd. And if you say the Texas A&M kid is gone and DeAndre Swift there, maybe I look at him. Maybe I look at Dale Pitt. Even though they took Will Harris last year, maybe I'm looking at Jonathan Taylor. Love his tape, but I fell in love with Zach Moss tape. Maybe I'm looking at Marlon Davis. Maybe I'm looking at the tackle from Boise State. So it's a few guys up there that you could be looking for. Remember last year they reached for Jelani Tavai, and don't be surprised they reach again this year. But I like Swift, explosive, but I just think I can get that explosive back from Appalachian State later in the draft if I need to get him. But if they take Swift, I wouldn't be mad because he got a 91 grade on him via ESPN, so I couldn't be mad at that. But if they don't address that defensive line position, man, Jeff Okudah, you got to protect your asset that you drafted. So you got to protect the back end with the front. You got to protect the back end with the front end. So if they go in there and plug that Texas A&M kid in there with Deshaun Hand, he can stay healthy. Now you got a totally different pass rush. Now you can rush for, and you probably can get some pressure. But if they putting all their chips on Deshaun Hand and PJ Hall, the guy they drafted from Arizona, if he's still on the team, and the kid they took from Clemson, they just gonna put their hand on them or bet their hand on them and not improve the defensive line, they're gonna be in a world of trouble. That's why the Texas A&M kid is the one to get. But I wouldn't be mad if they got Swift. He brings a different dynamic to the backfield. And Taylor, they bring explosive backs that upgrade the speed offensively. Okay, but I just feel Zach Moss is a good guy, and the guy from Appalachian State is a good running back as well too. So you can get value there. You can't get value with what you're getting from the kid from Texas A&M. You can't get that value later in the draft. I'm telling you, or Marlon Davis or somebody like that. So you also got the kid from Oklahoma. He might fall a little bit, where you might be able to trade back up into the 2nd and get him. But they got to address the defensive line. I'm already over the linebacker thing. Patricia just don't know linebackers. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to show. He got the linebackers that he want. As far as the back end, could they use the safety like Dale Pitts? Yeah, I don't believe in Will Harris at all. So, hey, it is what it is. I think how I would go is the Texas A&M kid, Justin Mudaback. I don't know his name. And then in the 3rd round, I would go Zach Moss, guard or tackle prospect. So that's just my opinion on it. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out to me anytime if you got business, question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. Want to make a donation to the channel? That link's in the description. Best way to donate, share the video, but Cash App, PayPal there. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about day 2. I already cooked on day 1 with a couple videos. So eventually I'll find some time to go live after the draft and we'll kind of talk about it. But it's hard to grade a draft until, free agency is, undrafted free agents is done, and some veterans get put out, and then you talking about a couple years down the line. if it was a good pick or not a good pick. But I appreciate everybody for checking in. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. We gone.